Hello, welcome to Claggy, Corona Lockdown Action Group, yeah. Don't worry, it's only me. Indeed, welcome to Claggy. I am the Eggman. They are the Eggmen. I am the Walnut, could be Cashew. Also, I know a mouse. He hasn't got a house. Don't know why I call him Gerald. Anyway, that's enough about me. What about Claggy? What's going on in the world of Claggy? Well, this week in Llanbellin, we've had 4,628 recorded cases of COVID. The population of Llanbellin is 1,264, which gives you a clue as to just how serious this pandemic is. Now, a few weeks ago, I said that this thing we're up against is bigger than all of us put together. And at the time of transmission, all of us put together was about that big. And this thing we were up against was about that big. That big. Now, since then, all of us put together has been reduced by 0.06% because that's how many have been killed by COVID. Now, that may not sound a lot, but if you think that the population of UK, if that was, say, 100 billion, 0.06 would be 60 million, which would be just about all of us. So just think about that for a moment. And if you've got plenty of time, think about it for ages. So all of us put together, about that big. This thing we're up against was that big. Now it's that big. It can't get much bigger because of the size of my hand. Now, this situation has been reflected by the scientists. Scientists at the Mint Imperial College London are saying that this pandemic, it's not only the worst in history, it's the worst in prehistory as well. Because they've been listening to fossil records and tapes, and even though they're really hissy, Professor Sinead O'Connor said that nothing compares to you. And these same scientists, they've been computer modelling. Look at this one. This is a model of a MacBook Pro. Look, they've got the shape right, size, everything, and inside the detail is mind-boggling. Every time I look at this, it blows my mind. See all the little keys, all the detail, incredible. Now, these same scientists, they've been modelling with computers, and they've been predicting the future with a similar level of accuracy and attention to detail, and they reckon that there'll never be a pandemic as bad as this. So this is the all-time world record bad pandemic. And if that wasn't bad enough, this last month saw the first recorded case of a pussycat getting COVID. Behave. Now, this cat's called Kevin, lives in Kettering, and the authorities won't tell us any more than that because they don't want to create public panic, but they've assured us that the house that Kevin lives in is surrounded with fire engines, and they've all got their hoses going away from the house to keep the cats away. Now, as the situation stands, everything's all right because Kevin's got asymptomatic COVID, which means he's not showing any symptoms, and he's got plenty of food, toys and stuff. And the firemen who are spending all day with a hose, they're all reporting an intangible sense of release. So, but things could change at any second there. So if you want to support Kevin, you can send a stamped addressed postal order to Kevin the cat that caught COVID in Kettering, and they've set up a kitty. So, what else is going on? Well, as you can imagine, with the pandemic being so bad that we've been receiving so many letters, the mailbag was massive this week. We had over 12 letters. And some of them were really big. You know, look at that, it's massive. And we're really grateful for those letters. So here's one. This is from Miles Davis, who writes from Shifnal near Wolverhampton. And Miles says, "The urgent trumpets of authority that introduce ITN's news at 10 always puts me in a state of fight or flight, and I lose the ability to think critically, and therefore just enjoy the news programme on a purely emotional level. Had you thought of starting Claggy with urgent trumpets of authority? Well, Miles, thank you very much for this. Interesting. Oh, I think what you're talking about here is and I agree, it's very compelling. Now, interestingly, I do know someone in the next town, Llynedd Mochnant, who's a very good trumpeter, and he could do urgent trumpets of authority like that, or like that. But he's a professional musician. I'd have to pay him, and I would rather spend that money, right, on research, so that when I present Claggy, I can bring you truth. Here's a letter from yes, this one's from Janet in Tannock Bray, and she writes, Dear Dr. Finlay, myself and Dr. Cameron are big fans of Claggy. We have a small fictional medical practice in the Highlands, and we've been hearing a lot about virus carriers. Could you tell us more about them and where we might be able to buy them? Well, Janet, it's a privilege to get a letter from you. I was a big Case Books fan, and I really liked that advert where you said, Flash cleans floors without scratching. Now, virus carriers, very, very important at this time. They're massive tools, huge weapons in this war against David. So, this is the virus carrier that I use. As you can see, it's very light, very portable. It's completely biodegradable, organic, diverse, inclusive. It's actually made of reconstituted copies of the Guardian newspaper, so there will be little bits of George Monbiot in there. Now, as you can see, it's got plenty of room for lots of little viri, and at a stretch you could put a big viri in it. Now, it's very important when you're shopping to have your virus carrier so that people can see you being responsible. What you're telling people is, I know where my virus is, it's in the carrier, everything's cool, yeah? Now, you can buy these online. You can get them from either Scared to Death of Dying, I'm Going to Live Forever, or Poop Your Pants with Fear. Now, they're irrationally conceived, but they're very reasonably priced. Now, one of the bonuses, right, is that these are getting very popular in the capital cities of Europe, and they're considered very fashionable, and some people think quite sexy. And apparently it all depends on the way you carry it. Now, I carry mine like that, and I get loads of chicks. I carry mine like that. So, virus carriers. Now, here we have a letter, and it's actually a different letter from the others. This is from Marie Antoinette. She writes from Versailles in Cornwall, and she says, Cher Claggy, j'en ai marre avec le lockdown. Qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire pour le faire mieux? So, who was she? Oh, yeah, Marie Antoinette. So, Marie, she's saying, I'm fed up of the lockdown. What can I do to make it better? Well, Marie, it's really important that you bond with the community and share as much as you can despite the limitations. So here in Llanfyllin, every Saturday at 5 o'clock, we come to our front doors and we go, oh my God, and we do that for a minute, and then we go indoors. Some people carry on doing it indoors, and we find it's just really useful to let it all hang out, get it out on the table. We're in the all together in this. So I hope that helps, Marie. So, come on, lockdown action group, yeah! Now, there's been a lot of developments in the world of masks, as you can imagine, and I'm going to show you this one. Now, this has been developed by Canadian scientists, and as you can see, it's very light, it's very comfortable. Now, even though it's very fashionable and light, it is following the science. So with corona being a new virus, there's so little known about it for sure, but there are 3 definite things that we know. One is that it can't survive on a hot surface. Come on, come back. It can't survive on a hot surface. 2, it can't survive in the pub before 10 o'clock. And 3, that the virus is terrified of big cats. Yeah? Now, the makers recommend that every 20 or 30 seconds, when you're wearing this mask, you just go, You don't need to sort of do any of that stuff. Yeah, just a little. Now, unfortunately, because this is so new and cutting edge, a lot of supermarkets and shops won't accept it as a valid face covering. So I always use it in conjunction with these. Now, this works on the principle that a small virus is very scared of a big virus. Now, this looks like a big virus. You can wear it like that if you're feeling a bit sort of nihilist, dark, cool. You think that sort of thing's sexy, but it's not. But the sunny side, yeah, you can wear it like this. Now, if the viruses are unafraid and they're still coming at you, you can use it like this and you can just bat it away. Just bat it away. So, if you go shopping, right, with all this, you're really ready to fight that virus. Anyway, that's all for this week. Hopefully we'll be back another time.